Hello, friends, family, and fans, and any random visitors out there. Welcome to the first film test of either burst transmissions or riding the storm out. I don't know for sure yet. Mainly I'm doing this as a way to get used to being on camera and talking my thoughts out loud, which most of you know I have no trouble talking out loud anyway. Yes, I am shooting this in a moving vehicle. This is not necessarily going to be a common occurrence. It just so happens that I am driving back on my home rotation across the plains of northern Missouri and needed something to do. So, following the advice of several people on YouTube who coach people on starting their own channels, I am punching record and talking. So I thought maybe I'd talk to myself and anybody who happens to see this about the concept of what I'm trying to do. I mentioned at the beginning two different titles: burst transmissions and riding the storm out. I already used burst transmissions as the title for short gaming pieces that I write, rules expansions and such, mainly for Starfinder role-playing game. But I like the concept, and it had always been intended to be the title of a newsletter devoted to short articles about things that I knew were coming up, things that I had seen release, and just, short burst transmission thoughts on whatever topic is handy. I might keep it. Problem is, with both titles, the problem is that I have so many different things I want to cover, so many different facets. Gaming, model building, disaster preparedness, and a few other topics along the way as well. So I don't know. Burst transmissions from the range, burst transmissions from the workbench, burst transmissions from the road like I'm doing right now. But using an extension title to create a category so that when you look at the title of a video, you know what you're going to be expecting when you hit play on the video. Whether it's going to be, hey, we went down to the gun range and worked around on this thing, or I'm building this particular tank model and I learned something really cool. And I have a couple of those that I'm going to be making because I figured out a technique that if I had learned it 40 years ago, I would still be building a lot of armor models. But I'm getting back into it now, so it's never too late. The other one would be riding the storm out, which would definitely be much more oriented towards disaster preparedness and things of that nature. And I had kind of started a website once upon a time that was going to be the primary title for, centered around preparedness articles and things of that nature. So I don't know, maybe I'll run two channels and do the burst transmissions mainly for the gaming stuff and riding the storm out for the other stuff. We'll just have to see what happens. So, but hey, look at this. I'm coming up on 5 minutes of straight one-shot talk with a lot of ums, absolutely, because is my middle name. But in the overall scheme of things, I'm basically just talking this out, figuring out where my thoughts are. And this is a way to get practice at being on camera, so that if one day I do finally start my own YouTube channel or channels, then I will be used to talking to people who aren't there, which some of you say I do anyway, and that's okay. I love you, and you're right. It's part of being a writer. You have to talk for everybody. So in the end, this has just been kind of a training session for me, as well as a brainstorming, I guess, really. Kind of a little brainstorming session to see what I think and to see how I feel about talking on camera. And to be honest, it's not bad. Not struggling near as much with it as I was afraid I would, until I get in there and find all the ums. That's why we have editing software. In the meantime, keep your head down. Don't prep to outlast the troubles. Prep to not notice the troubles. And I will see you on the other side.